Now, last Friday, we brought you the story of Yaya Kwajit. She's a visually impaired old woman in the northeast of the country. On her wish list were very basic items which will shame many of us. She belongs to an estimated 750,000 poor Ghanaians who are not beneficiaries of government interventions that have been put in place to help people like her. We're going to bring you back a bit of her story because there's been massive outpouring of support from many of you who saw the story on TV and saw it on Facebook. And you've been calling in to want to help. We'll tell her story again and then we'll have a conversation on the back of that.
In the heart of Sambonan, a community in the northeast region, is Yaya Kwajit, an old lady who does not know her age, but she firmly maintains that she's way younger than she looks currently. She blames poverty for draining all youthful juices in her, leaving her blind and old. She lost her sight after giving birth to her second child. Yaya lost her husband and recounts everything took a downward turn. She tries to define what poverty means to her.
Farane kaka di fara ka hanyo matambaye no fara mangena ala hatiare baka hatiana hanu abe ketera pon di kwa fana kare mo ma yeno ta hamba kufuni ko kunyo yeno mo kapango tu yema yeno na ulona mu kama
ngalwa se fa kanywane ngabo nywanga
kulwo bungbara ipo mungbara tabani kinta to banku.
Poverty is when you depend on people for everything. Poverty is when you want to eat banku and fish, pussy, drink malt, and any other drink, but you don't have the means. That is what I consider poverty.
In fact, her two sons traveled to southern Ghana in search of supposed better living conditions, but only one visits her occasionally. Many times she is left to battle life alone. She cleans and does many domestic chores all by herself. The children in the community support by fetching water for her. She gropes for her stick, getting ready to prepare breakfast. She plants her own okra and periodically gets maize from her son and sometimes people in the community. But there are days that Yaya Kwajit goes without any food.
There are days I have nothing. Sometimes the people of this community assume I'm okay. Those are the days I have nothing but depend on water. God always sees me through.
Although she has not seen her second son for several years, she holds no grudges. Rather, she blames his long absence on poverty.
Right, so joining me in the studio right now is Jojo Kobna, who put together that report. Jojo, thank you. This is really good work, and I'm sure you've realized that from the outpouring of support that has come through. You tell us about what people have been offering.
Well, I've been inundated with phone calls, since 6 a.m. This morning, with many people wanting to help and seeking to help, wanting to know what to donate. I've had people donating money all the way from the United States, from Belgium. We have people from Ghana also donating. And then we have people offering to give her provisions, to give her the Milo that she wants, to give her the milk and then malt that she wants to drink before she finally dies. Then we have ash foam coming in with the mattress, and then we have latest foam also coming in with the mattress. So it looks like Yaya will have 4 different mattresses to lie on. Finally, her wishes come true.
So these are some of the impactful stories we put out here at Joy News, and that's the whole idea. It's to touch the people and to reach out to the people who are most vulnerable. We're here for you. In fact, the story has gone viral on social media. I would want the director to put the story which is on Facebook up, so that I can just get to give you a fair idea how far this story has gone. We'll do that in a moment. But what are people supposed to do? People who want to still help.
We put the numbers on social media for them to send money. That is, if that money is what they want to send. And if they want to send clothing, if they want to send provisions, they can come to Joy News and then bring their provisions here. And so that is what that is what I want to tell people, that they can still come. They can still come to Joy FM. They can still donate. They can still send in their, because we want to make a difference in her life. If you look at her background, having been widowed, she said she was actually hoping that someone would even inherit her widow inheritance so that she can get something, but because she was blind, no one wanted her. And so she has gone through a lot. And so the last minute of her life, we should make sure that she enjoys it to the fullest. Yeah. Then. So I'm very, very grateful. Joy News is very grateful to all the people who have donated.
All right, thank you very much, Jojo. So what this woman sought to ask for, in fact, she didn't ask for it. She was just telling you what her wish was. And her wish was that she would have kose to go with her cocoa, and that she would also have fish or protein to go with her banku. And now it appears she's going to get a whole lot more. In the studio right now is Dr. Rita Owusu Amankwa, who's the Director of Social Protection in the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Thank you very much for making time to join us. Now, what do you make of her story? How did it strike you when you saw the story of Yaya?
Yeah, I must say the story is very pathetic. And then, you know, we have many of such stories, even though they haven't been brought to bear. And so we thank Joy FM for bringing this story. We thank Jojo for doing this story. And that is what we want the media to do, to bring such stories and mobilize support for the poor.
Fortunately, government has a program in place to support people like these. How come, or how is it that we missed Yaya?
Well, it is very unfortunate, but we have a very systematic process in place in enrolling people onto LEAP. We fall on Ghana Statistical Service data, current data. For instance, the Ghana Living Standard Survey, that will give us indication as to where we have volumes of poor people, extremely poor people. And so we select the location based on that, the region, the district, the community based on that. Once we enter into that community, we apply what we call the Proxy Test questionnaire to all the people who will come for registration. We rely very much on communities, because we are not there at the community level. We have the community leaders, sometimes we rely on the chief and elders, we rely on assembly persons to mobilize the people for registration. So I'm wondering how we missed her. And so once we register you, then we pass you through that process to have a Proxy test score. There are some scores. If you fall within the score, that we can say that you fall within the poverty or extreme poor people, then you are selected. And then you are enrolled. And then if you are enrolled, you are given a e-switch card. Then subsequent payments will start. And so we know, and once you target people, there is something we call, theoretically, exclusion errors or inclusion errors. Sometimes, because it is a process, a system, you may have one or two people who are supposed to be there, who will be excluded by error. You have people who are not supposed to be there, who will be in there by error. But we try as much as possible to systematically select beneficiaries of LEAP.
So you talk about, errors, that exclusion errors, which would leave people like Yaya out. But what we're gathering from your own data is that there are about 750,000 people like Yaya who have been missed.
Exactly. And, it's gradual, we don't have the resources to cover everybody. Last year, we covered 332,000 households. That translates into 1.4 million people. This year, we are going to cover 350,000 households, so we are going to add more. But we have a backlog. We have people we have registered already. We have identified already as qualified to be served.
You say that you don't have the resources to get to cover everybody.
Not yet.
Except that they're not asking for much, or you're not giving them much. I'm told they're getting somewhere between 80 and 150 cedis.
It's a lot of money. If you aggregate them, we are talking about, last year we used 180 million Ghana cedis. This year we have been giving 200 million Ghana cedis to do our work. And so it's not, even though it's individually, you may say that it's small, but if you add all of them together, you will see that it's a lot of money. We are advocating for...
But isn't it the case that you're having to spend so much on administrative expenses such that the people who are supposed to benefit end up getting very little? You're talking about, what, 180 million?
Yeah.
You've been giving how much of the 180 million actually ends up with the people?
We use about 5% for administrative purposes. All the rest of the money goes there. And so we are advocating for more resources for financing social protection. Mind you, social protection is not only LEAP. We have other social protection interventions. School feeding is social protection intervention. And school feeding, for instance, last year we spent almost 400 million Ghana cedis. We have other social protection, like if you are a LEAP beneficiary, you are automatically an NHIS beneficiary. And so that also adds to the cost. We also have capitation grant as social protection intervention. We also have now the SHS. So we have a lot more social protection interventions that together the government is spending so much, huge monies and tackling this. And I must say that the government alone cannot provide social protection interventions to all Ghanaians. That is why in Ghana, we are collaborating with everybody. We want to solicit the support of everybody, the public, everybody, the media. The last year, we had extensive discussions with faith-based organizations. They have a lot of people under them. They mobilize a lot of people. And so we engage them to see how they can mainstream social protection to their policies and activities.
You
so
say
that they can cater for their people.
You said something that just struck me, that government cannot cater for all the people who need social protection.
Alone. We are talking about...
Did they say that? Did government actually say that?
We are saying that, it is a collective response. We know that the larger part of the responsibility lies on government.
I'd rather hear that from government. For you, I want to believe that you, as much as possible, advocate for the resources, so that you can support the people.
But let me say that social protection is the responsibility of the woman. Said she has 2 children. We don't know what has happened to them. One key thing, Imani.
She actually indicated that one of the children is
occasionally
visits. Yeah. But she actually indicated that she understands, or she empathizes with the son for not being able to come see her regularly because he's also struggling.
Yeah. So, and that is why we are saying that wherever we are asking for private sector collaboration. We are asking for faith-based organizations, collaboration from them. If every church in Ghana mainstream social protection into its activities, we will have a lot more. I saw the woman praying before even, she ate her food. Maybe she has been going to church. What church is that? Can the church also come to the aid of that poor woman? One thing that we have also identified, recently, Imani Ghana, did a survey and came out with a video, and some of very positive those beneficiaries of LEAP. But one thing that I noticed was that children are neglecting their parents. One particular woman, for instance, had 9 children, but she doesn't even know where they are. And so that's why I'm saying that we all have some responsibilities to play. And so we should all try to play those responsibilities to make life bearable for people.
Do you have a platform that allows people, you congratulated us for bringing out Yaya's story. I'm sure there are lots of people who are watching us right now who would know about many Yayas in the system. Is there a way they can actually nominate people to be giving support?
Yeah, you can. We are now putting up together the Ghana Household Registry. It's going to be the major targeting mechanisms for the country. We have done that for the Upper West, we've done that for Upper East, and now we are going into the 3 northern regions, Savannah, North East, and northern regions in next month to gather poverty profile. That one is a census approach that we have adopted. So we'll go into each of the structures in that community with the support of Ghana Statistical Service. Once that is done, then whoever wants to support anybody can go into that system to collect. The Upper East data is ready. Upper West data is ready. So if you want to support people from these regions, you can, by using this data that we've collected, we have compiled to support them. So there is a way to do this. And we are going to cover all the regions to have a very comprehensive data. As I said, LEAP, we are not going to houses, we are not going to homes. But this one, mostly where we have poverty endemic areas, we go use census approach and go into homes and houses to register everybody. We take even biometric information. So it's a very comprehensive information on a particular person. So whoever wants to target people can go into the system, come to Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, GNHR, and then go into the system and select and support.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Rita Owusu-Amankwa. Dr. Rita Owusu-Amankwa is the Director of Social Protection at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection.